Yep.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone have a chance to look at the minutes from last week?
I did. I moved to approve.
I second it, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passed 3-0. Commissioner comments and committee reports. Jack.
I've got a couple things. First of all, I just had the opportunity to have a sandwich with Congressman-elect Watkins, and he's here in town. Going around looking at different things like the Y and just kind of understanding Atchison better. I think the key is the transition from Lynn Jenkins. He's keeping the same office as Lynn Jenkins. Bill Rowe is going to continue as the Deputy Chief of Staff. So all the contact information stuff will be the same. And he's hired most of Lynn's staff in Washington. So probably fairly seamless. He's trying to keep it that way. I think it's important. On Friday, I had an opportunity to sit at a meeting with the City of Atchison, the Chamber of Commerce, and the board of the Historical Society. And there seems to be, I don't know how to say this, probably opportunities and maybe challenges of how we can work better together. I guess there's some challenges with the museum isn't being staffed at all, so it kind of leaves things up in the air. That, you know, they're working on such a shoestring budget. I just think that I'm kind of editorializing this. It seems like if we had a more of a goal that was a shared vision among everybody, and I think I was thinking about this on the way home from the meeting. Is we have Project Concern, and city owns the building, and we contribute to its financial well-being, and we have a county commissioner, city commissioner sit on that board, and I think that's been good because I think there's a lot of resources that come up from having those members on the board over the years. It's the same with the Chamber of Commerce. I was thinking maybe we need to talk to them next time when they come looking for their donation, that maybe we ought to consider having a county commissioner and a city commissioner, for that matter, on their board. There's probably some challenges with that because I think you might get some pushback, but I think we should know how our money's being spent and it's being used in the best way possible. And I think that Project Concern is a great example of how that works really good. I did also attend the Atchison Sports and Activities and Fitness, their annual budget, and looked at their budget for next year. The budget's remaining about the same. They look like they did okay financially. The only thing is they took over they probably lost a little bit of money on their concessions, mainly because it maybe had too many offerings. Kind of made things complicated. But other than that, it looks like things are going smoothly there. Of course, they're looking for their annual contribution of $40,000 from us, and they're evidently going to get, if they haven't already, I guess the end of the year is until December, they're going to get the financials up to you, Michelle. So,
see, I always thought that the rec run the concession stand, but I was told that they rent that out to different vendors. They don't have any, and that they could be.
I think they've tried all the above, Bill.
Okay, and it didn't work.
I think it's.
Couldn't get people to work.
I think it's a challenge. It's you want to contribute. You want to have something there for people to enjoy, but providing it may be more expensive than you think. So I think they tried different things, and I imagine they'll keep trying it. They're not. When I say they're losing money, I'm not talking about money. I mean, you and I could dig in our pocket, make up the difference, but they're still not. You'd like to think they could make a little bit of money. So.
Are you done?
I have nothing, Mr. Chairman.
I don't either. New business. 105. Michelle.
I basically only have one copy of this, and I apologize for that. we talked before about election equipment, trying to utilize what I can to enhance and get more. As of right now, the poll pads is what I have here. I have 5 poll pads, the original 5 that do not have printers with them, so you don't get the barcodes, which you go to the scanners for the touch screens and the machines to vote with. I'm going to upgrade those and get the printers with those, and I do have a bid for that, but it came under, but I just wanted you guys to be aware. So this way, with the printers, all of the polling locations will have the exact same equipment. So when you register on the poll pad itself, it will print that barcode for you, so you can scan it on the touch screen. So it'll bring up the correct ballot. So all of the equipment's going to be the same. So if I had an emergency, I can bring somebody from another polling location, and the equipment's the same. So I did want to share that with you. That came in for upgrading those 5, because I'd have to upgrade the cases as well, because everything fits nicely in those cases. It was $1,875 for the upgrade for that. They also gave me a quote for 3 new poll pad units for the registration, because I know the registration lines are extremely long. And I have, this is the same exact thing as what I just got, the 5 units with the printers and the larger cases. It came in at $4,290, but you can share all of this. I apologize, I didn't make more copies. I am going to be looking at least one more touchscreen with the budget I have this year. I don't know if I don't want to go over budget, so we'll see if I can do it. I will bring that to you probably next week, because we do need to get some touchscreens, because I know there are some polling locations that use them.
So you want us to go ahead and approve the PO today
Correct, for that one.
for 3 poll pad units with case and printer in the amount of $4,290. Do I hear a motion to accept?
You have that money.
Now that's not both of them together.
No, the 4,000 is just the one.
Okay, so I make a motion for the $4,290.
You're talking 6,100 somewhere in there.
Correct. But I only did the one on there since it was over the 2,500.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 3-0.
Thank you, guys. One other thing I do have, I have, and this is received with the bills. This is the allocations for the appropriations. There's 2 pages per. One of them is the fund status report showing the money that we have there, and then this is the one that actually has the money. All of the appropriations this year are getting paid out at 100% of what you guys budgeted for them for the 18 year. So I feel good about that. So there, we just need signatures on theirs. I think there's like 8 or 9 there. Thank you.
Do we need a motion to accept all of those?
I think you guys basically did that through budget season.
Okay.
Am I correct on that, Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
It's nothing beyond budget. So
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. This is just fulfilling the budget approvals that you guys had back for the 18 budget year. And then I have nothing else there.
well, he submitted the monthly report. I don't think he needed to be here. Okay. Is that all yours?
That's all I have. Yes, thank you.
And we did get the EMS monthly reports in your folder. Seth, do you want to come on up? Or who did we have?
Actually, Stacy,
Stacy.
because she can get done before 7.
Yeah. Okay, come on.
If
So
that's
we're
okay.
supposed to go to 1:15.
Right. Right.
Oh, no.
I'm bringing up a requisition for to Weaver door to replace the south overhead door on the catwalk. It's for the amount of $7,725. It was the low bid of $3.
What's the purpose of the
The original building was designed. It had a door on each end of the catwalk so that the wind wouldn't blow through and blow trash up through the building and out the other side. The doors haven't worked. Either door hasn't worked for several years, and we've been trying to get the buildings back to what they should be and get them the maintenance back up. So we're just doing one door at a time right now. We waited kind of towards the end of the year and make sure we had the money in the budget, and we do. So we'd just like to go ahead and get one replaced this year.
Okay, and I would like to note that we have reached out to the Solid Waste Committee, so they have had an opportunity to look at it and
Correct,
review it.
yeah.
And
we've had this Weaver door work on our doors up top, and they're a good company. And even a couple on the committee said that they've had them work on stuff of theirs, and they're good company. So
do I hear a motion to accept the bid?
I shall move, Mr. Chairman.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes
I have
0.
been out there, and I don't know why, but that wind seems like it whistles through there.
it does, and it just sucks the trash right out the door into the yard. And it's hard to tarp the trailer inside there when the wind's blowing like that, or if it's blowing rain or snow or anything like that too.
That's probably what a day project.
I don't know how long it'll take. I wouldn't think it would take very long. They'll have to take down the old one first, though, of course.
Probably need a copy for Michelle.
You just leave it in
Scan
there.
it. Just
Okay.
scan it.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all I had. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Seth, you want to come on up? Getting pretty close. And we have 2 bids, I understand.
So far, I just
Okay.
sent a message asking if there was any more to expect.
I wouldn't think so. I'll get 2 bids here.
I can walk over and certify.
Alright, 2. Actually got a minute.
My cell phone says 1:15, so
But, okay, we'll go with the
I think
second
we're-
one. That's
we're
fine. Alright, so both Jackson Farmers and Consumer Oil. Both the Consumer Oils.
First of all, we had some problems last year with how things were interpreted and how they were bid. How does that reconcile this year?
Basically, I told them to bid just off the regular diesel prices. Don't worry about the winter blend. Just give us the price of what your winter blend will be. We will purchase for the normal, and then when that amount comes for winter blend, we'll just pay that separately. So
Okay. I just kind of wanted that up before we got into any bids, how that was set up before we even knew.
Alright, so consumer oil bids. You will have clear diesel 2.2344 per gallon.
223.
223.44. Okay, your dyed diesel, your off-road fuel is $1.9949. Right. And your unleaded gasoline is a 1.8626 $1.86.
Wow.
Okay. All right, Jackson Farmers. Your clear diesel will be $2.44. Your dyed diesel will be $2.20. And your unleaded will be $2.14.
How many gallons of gas did we? just
Okay, so we went together. We had EMS, emergency management, solid waste, ourselves, noxious weed, all of us on the same one. We did 29,500 gallons of clear diesel, 27,500 gallons of dyed diesel, and 17,900 gallons of unleaded.
What was the last figure?
17,900. It looks like, yeah, their prices for adding the winter blend are identical, 9 cents more a gallon.
What are we gonna do about, by the prices? You can see he's probably gonna get the bid, but the sheriff gets a lot of fuel out west. Do we contract that, or for what little he gets out there, we just pay cash?
The sheriff's on his own; he pays by card, so
Okay.
I have nothing.
Well,
These have
he's
nothing to
included.
do with his bids.
Well, see, he acted like to me that he was interested in going in with this, but that's,
I've talked to him, and he said he wasn't interested at this time with the way
Okay.
our facility is. So
okay.
And we can't bid if it's coming out of a pump. We can't bid or not set up to do that.
What
I guess.
about, are we paying sales tax on at the pump price?
no, with the Wex cards, I believe it
That's
takes the
right.
tax and then gives a discount. I'm not sure exactly how the Wex cards work. I've never had a
Discount.
So I don't know what his actual price is, but
That's a pretty good price.
yes, I
thought it'd be higher than that. Cause didn't you budget for like 275 for red diesel?
budgeted $270 for both diesel, and unleaded I budgeted $250. So we had
70 cents, and yeah, we're gonna come in good shape.
about 30,000 under what we budgeted. So
I would move to accept the bid from Consumer Oil as presented.
I will second that, Mr. Chairman. Do you have any discussion?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
The prices are significantly better than Consumer Oil.
They're usually a lot closer than that.
With that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 3-0.
I will notify them.
Is there a contract signed? Or?
Basically, no. I mean, this is it. I don't think we've actually. had
Okay,
that.
I brought this up a couple of years ago. I think we've only used it once. With this contract, we have an option. If it gets cheaper, we can buy it and roll over our excess dollars in the gallons, or we have
I
to.
mean, we could do that. It wouldn't come off of our bid or off of our contract price, but I guess we could always call them and say, bring us this fuel at that price, and we just not fulfill our contract at that time. And
Do we have to use those gallons, or can we roll it over? A couple of years ago,
we rolled them. They don't like rolling, but
they don't like them. but
sometimes
for us,
we have to. We have it in this contract
we could save some money.
that states while fuel is expected to be delivered during the 2019 calendar year, the county reserves the right to demand delivery through the end of 2020. So we have, I guess, basically 2 years in order to get all the fuel used.
I don't foresee it getting anything built in 2019 to where we could get tanker price. Because you could take it 12 cents off. Just like that, because it comes straight from the company, and the middleman doesn't see it other than make a little smaller profit.
So yeah, I'm happy to see those prices come in like that. So
I am too. I'm surprised if they did.
Anything further?
That's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, and last week you mentioned something about the Hams rock. I need to talk with Pat a little bit more about that. There is some confusion on the contract with that about the percentage of rock that we get for free. They are saying that is for the haul road, and the contract is very hard to understand in that fact. So it's something to get Pat about.
So they're saying we can only use that rock on that first electric road.
Correct, and we have
That's
also
not correct.
we have already used all that up, so we're actually negative in that account of using that. So
The deal was, as long as that road was maintained, we did not have to use 100% of that free rock on that road, as I recall it.
That's what I recall. None of this was. I hadn't talked with him about this issue.
That's one
right
reason
now,
why
so-
Center backed out, because they didn't have it in their contract. They thought they could use that rock anywhere, and they found out they couldn't. They backed out, and that's what the county did.
okay. Like I said, I just want to talk to Kyle a little more about
Did
that.
we ever get anywhere with dust control?
Yeah, that actually is going to fall onto us next year,
They're not
unless the contract has been changed.
It has not.
that wasn't agreed upon. But
Well,
never
the way the contract read, it was only for a year or two, and then
It's 2
it
years.
falls on the county.
After the second year, yeah. So
and then we're after
And
that.
so we, I guess, misunderstood that part of it, and so it's on us now.
I thought it was long, so query was open, but okay.
All right.
thank you.
On me?
Bill, how are you?
I'm alright. I'm trying to get over a patch of sickness. But
What's going around?
it's been several days since I've had a fever, so I should be in the clear in terms of the rest of you.
If we get sick in 3 or 4 days, we'll know.
Yeah, then you can blame me.
Okay.
Or somebody else. There's a lot of it going around.
Okay.
Yeah, my whole family fell victim to it. So anyway, I think Pat and my attorney and I have kind of packaged together a series of documents and things to make this deal work. I think you've got those. I don't know that there's a heck of a lot left for me to add, other than to say that my view on it was that we got into this knowing that the county had to kind of be a conduit for these grant funds, and I think we found a way in Pat talking with K.S.A. I think we found a way where the company that I've established takes all of the responsibilities and all of the grant funds would be dispersed directly to the company that I've set up, and there's a series of personal guarantees and contract documents that have been set up to protect you from liability. And so Pat can speak to that from your end, but I'm certainly happy with how that looks, and we kind of found a way to allow Atchison County to be the conduit for the grant, but you don't have to worry about any of the administrative activities or monitoring or any of that. That all has been assigned to the company that I've established. So
Is this agreement we got signed annually, or is it one and done?
one and done.
What is the timeline on this? Does this need to be done any specific time? Or?
When does it need to be executed?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's time.
I mean,
for the grant.
I would really like to thoroughly read this.
Oh, he's
Sure.
talking about signing off.
Yeah, signing off on this.
I thought you were talking about getting the project started.
I don't know the answer to that.
But there's no problem waiting a week on it.
No, I don't imagine there would be a problem waiting a week.
I find that sitting down and actually
Sure.
deciphering and have any questions, I mean, it's very hard to do that when we're just presented with them today. So,
Sure.
I would. Is there any? Do you see any issues here?
No, I don't. I think a week wouldn't hurt anything at all. We have to get it to the state, and I don't remember what the deadline they had given us for it. A week will be fine. I think if we go past that, we're into January.
That's what I was wondering, if it was an end of the year thing, if there was any other timelines that we were going to miss, but this stuff for me is a little bit of deciphering, and
Sure.
and if there's any questions.
It reads pretty simple.
No, I think a week is fine. I have to submit monthly status reports for progress on the project. I did my first one of those at the end of November. One of the categories that you report on is what do you anticipate happening over the next month. And one of the things that I reported is that I was really hopeful that we'd be able to have all of our grant agreements and everything tied up and finished by the end of December. So 1 week, we're still in that time frame.
Our meeting is on the 26th, Justin.
Yeah. So you put us down next week on that,
Is your
Michelle, and-
vacation issues? Or?
Yeah, I'm not going to be here. I don't have to be here.
I personally, my
I can send representation. That's
vote,
fine.
if Pat sees no problem, and I can understand Commissioner Noel wants to look at it over, that's not a bad idea.
So Ethan would be your.
Yes.
I don't, unless there's some questions, which we could email you in the coming week, couldn't we? If there was any questions. If not, I don't see that you would need to be here. I would just excuse me, rather look it over, have a good feeling, and if it goes according to the way I understand it,
The
I'm
only thing is,
comfortable.
if you had a representative here who voted on it and voted fast, he would know for sure that it's a done deal.
Well, that's
Yeah,
if you
okay.
choose to send someone, that's fine. But I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah,
Scan
that's,
it and email.
I
On
can
face
watch.
value, I'm very comfortable with
Okay.
the agreement.
I don't think there's any surprises in there, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think when we initially even talked about it, this is better than what we had envisioned. I wasn't sure that we were going to get the state to be able to allow us to not even handle the money. And they are agreeable with that because they've understood what the concept was as well, and that is that the LLC will be the developer on the project. And the contract does call for guarantees from the principals involved in the LLC, so I don't think there's a risk to the county. I'm not just trying to discourage you from reading it. I think you should, and a week is certainly a reasonable time. But I'm very comfortable with it, and I think it's actually a little better than what we had envisioned when we started.
I agree with that. Yeah, because it has no budget impact for you because money doesn't even come through Atchison County. We've handled that with the legalese and the agreements and resolutions. So I'm really
Okay.
pleased with it.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. We'll act on it
Okay.
next week.
Great. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Justin. I guess, this is all one, I guess. There's two copies.
There's an agreement with there's
different.
three different
I got
things.
two.
So there's a
resolution that authorizes the chairman to sign the agreement. The assumption agreement that you have there is the agreement with Justin's LLC. The grant agreement is the agreement between the county and the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation. So maybe we didn't make you copies of the resolution.
I can make one.
Okay, that would be the third thing. And we don't have to have them right now. If we just have them ready for next week, it would be
I
fine.
think we got the stuff that we need to read over.
Oh, this is just the original. There's the resolution is fairly short.
Yeah, that's one short page. Is it all right if I take that?
Yes.
Okay. I will have them all together.
I have it electronically. And so does Michelle.
Okay. Thank you.
all right. Thank you. Appreciate the partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, do you want those originals back, or do you want me to just scan them?
Yeah, I will want the originals.
But I'll definitely scan them to you right away.
Okay. Yeah, if you scan them to me, and then I'll come and pick up the originals
Okay.
on January 2nd or 3rd or something. That next
When should we look forward to seeing some work being done? April, May? Is that too soon?
There's already a lot of work. It's just not construction work.
I
So
see.
I would say July. We've done the lead-based paint testing. We've done the initial photography for the historic listing registration. Architects gone through and done their initial as-built drawings of the building as it is today. So we're spending money. We're into 5 digits already on
Did,
fees for consultants to
the
get
2
there.
kids who broke in, did they cause a lot of damage?
Yes, but luckily the apartments we're building aren't going to have like full wall mirrors anywhere.
That's locked, I guess. I was wondering that when I read that in the paper, but I didn't
It's
any
irritating. Most of it was mirror damage and glass damage, and that wasn't planned to be reused. But there are a couple, like they damaged the historic staircase a little bit in a couple of places, so that's irritating. It's not a huge amount of money in the grand scheme of things, but it's certainly irritating. Yeah,
Unnecessary.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Merry Christmas.
That ended up
Merry
being
Christmas.
$10,000 in damage
Oh my.
that was done, so. yeah.
Just leave that open slightly, because I think that, thank you. Okay, the next thing I have is Reese and Novelli, our auditors. Now, do we need to approve the final payment to them, or was that just,
Yes.
so we have 2 different issues then. One is that the final bill for the 2017 audit is here for $15,400, which is down from the original contract because of the lateness of the audit. Appreciate that.
20,000 on the other one.
Um,
22,000
22.
on our written agreement.
Quite a bit, $7,000.
so, do I?
We made an initial payment. Though.
Yeah, we have an initial payment, and I don't know what.
I move to approve the bill, final bill.
I second it, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, pass 3-0. And then we have a understanding for the audit next year and a single year audit. Reese and Novelli, and the audit cost would be $19,000.
They sent 2 proposals. One was having only a single year, and the other was a 3-year. And I think we requested the 3-year. We'll see if you consider it. The 3-year, the prices would be $18,500 the first year, $20,500 the second, and $22,500 the third year. Looking back, I have agreements from prior years. Last year, the agreement was $22,000 for a single year. It was $3,000 cheaper for a 3-year agreement. 2016 proposal was $21,500 and $18,700 for the first of a 3-year term. So if you want to know any of that history, I have those going back several years. But there is some savings for doing it for the 3-year.
I'd make a motion to accept the 1-year proposal.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded to accept the 1-year proposal. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass 3-0.
I'd say if we get time in this to get that down, then we'd maybe consider 3 years.
Yeah, with the things that happened this year, I'm a little reluctant, even at this point.
A
And
slight savings, but not, we're not talking.
It can be negotiated next year.
That's true. The next thing I have is the bill for the Kansas Association of Counties membership. Balance due is $4,113.59. Do you have any discussion? Or?
We've been doing that for years, haven't we, Michelle?
Yes.
It's like everything else. Whatever we put into it, so we get out of it.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded it to accept the bill. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passed 3-0. We have a Atchison County budget transfer to consider. This transfers countywide sales tax money from solid waste to joint communications. The amount is $73,135. This is to basically even up the expenditures that we've been incurring. There's been more expenses on the joint communication side, so this would help even that up in the 2018 budget year.
I have a dumb question. Why couldn't they get closer with their budget on that? Because they ought to have their fixed costs. I don't see why there's that much.
I'm not for sure if it was
That's
adjusted this year or not. Sometimes if it doesn't get adjusted, the ratios just go over the next year, even though the budget's changed. So I know that has been a problem in the past.
On the solid waste side, there was a big increase in their revenue too.
They had a big increase, and joint communications has had a lot of expense with the phone systems and things this year. So I'm not for sure that the ratio has been changed, which we were informed this morning of what they want to do for the proportions next year. Actually, that would be something good in the future to approve on a reorganizational meeting, is address that every year. So, but on this transfer, do I hear a motion to accept?
I would second that. In a discussion point, everybody's going to understand that ratios they're inaccurate.
It's an estimate.
They're a simple, educated estimate. They could be wrong. And then we have to adjust it again. So
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 3-0. Michelle, should I sign this under department head? How do we, or it's a different PO than normal.
I would say go ahead and sign it there.
Yeah.
Definitely. It just needs an approval signature.
Okay.
It is different though, isn't it?
Do you have the letters from the health department? Did I,
Right there on
or
top.
did I take them?
Right there on top. Is that right there?
I thought you could. All right. Here we had one applicant from Ruby Wood to be approved to be on the board of the Northeast Kansas Health Department, Multi-County Health Department.
I know Ruby, she'd be excellent.
It sounds like her credentials are top notch.
Yeah, Ruby would be excellent on that board.
I think I'll read it aloud. Please consider this letter as a request to serve on the Northeast Kansas Multi-County Health and Hospice Board as an Atchison County taxpayer of over 30 years and a former supervisor of the NEK Home Health and Hospice Program. I have vested interest in the continued success of this long-standing program. Over the years, this organization represented quality of care when competitors came and left after a short time. Also, the public health side of the organization continues to serve many programs such as immunizations and disease prevention of children. My current position is Director of Home-Based Primary Care at BA Eastern Kansas in Leavenworth. We serve over 300 veterans in HBPC and over 800 veterans in telehealth programs. Wellness and disease preventions are our goals, as well as safety and injury prevention. I do believe that my variety of experience and leadership will be an asset to your board. Thank Thank you for your consideration of this opportunity. Respectfully, Ruby Wood, RN, MSN, MBA.
I would move to appoint Ruby Wood to the, how long of appointment is it for?
It's 3 years, I believe.
For 3-year term, effective January 1st.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 3-0.
Should also be next up to us on the hiring of a new player.
Okay.
Run out of candy. She's very good.
Okay. Do we have another thing for the budget transfer? Maybe that was the only one we had.
I think so.
The
Yeah,
solid
we just-
waste, probably that one we just did.
Well, I was thinking there was one for the, it would have to do with the republishing of the budget.
That you will have to do, basically, you'll approve it when the budget hearing on the
Okay.
26th.
All right, I'm getting the two confused. Okay. Didn't we talk this morning that we needed a executive session? Or I guess I jumped over one.
It'll be whoever wants.
Would
the
we?
wording
Should we
for
go with back and hit county councilor updates first? I'm sorry, I jumped one.
Probably.
Okay, you may have noticed in the Globe on Saturday was the tax sale publication. It's the first of there are two series of publications. That was the first, but that was in the Globe on Saturday. There were 74 tracts, I believe, that are left in the sale, and so expect there to be a little activity on that front coming up. There's a hearing that's set on February 7th, I believe, and at that time we will know whether or not we're ready to set the sale. So the sale date will not be set until then, and kind of depends on if there's an answer filed between now and then as to whether or not we can set it that date or not set it that date. So if there are any questions on the tax sale, we'll talk about that.
That was probably a pretty expensive ad because that was like a full page. If you take that into consideration, and that goes toward the properties.
It was 3 pages for 2.5.
Yeah, it was quite a bit.
It was $9,600, I believe, was the publication. We are allowed to charge court costs, and the court costs are set up. They're supposed to be to allow us to recoup those expenses and the expenses of doing the abstracting. I can get it. Let's see. We have collected $28,468.29 in court costs from the properties that were redeemed. We have this series of publications, we have another series of publications, and we have abstracting. And the abstracting is about that amount. I can get the amount. The costs so far have been $20,180 that were incurred. So that sounds like a lot of money, but $28,000. It does not typically cover all of the expenses that are involved with the sale. That said, we're significantly higher than most other counties on court costs. Those are set by the court, but they're set at $400 per tract plus 5% of the delinquent tax on the day the case is filed. So so that there's more tax that's owed, the court costs are higher. But it's typically $500 or so per tract on costs.
Okay.
So if they come in, somebody comes in and pays theirs, they pay that extra as well.
Yes, yes, they have to redeem the property. They pay the tax to the treasurer and they pay the court costs at the clerk of the district court.
Okay.
And then when they pay that, they file also an application to redeem the property. That's worked. We've got a system in for that, and it's worked pretty well this time around.
Any other updates?
Yes, I did talk with Mike Montoya about the representing the county in front of VODA. I thought I would have a written contract, but I don't have one yet from him. But the hearing's in February, and I think there's plenty of time. I think maybe he was busy doing some end of the year things. But anyway, he is interested in representing us and along the same terms that we had discussed earlier. We had a hearing yesterday on Westart at a condemnation action. There was a dispute. There was some confusion about land ownership. Roger, really, I'm just telling you about it because Roger did a lot of work on figuring it out on who was the owner of the property and who part of it had been caused by the county. And we bought some land about 30 years ago. It wasn't. I'm not sure that the surveys were done that were completely accurate. That's finished up and resolved on their condemnation case. So, really, I'm mentioning this just because you ought to know Roger did a lot of work on it and did a good job with it. I don't know if we want to have a discussion about the Historical Society. Jack had asked me about if the county had an obligation to fund the Historical Society. And off the cuff, I thought, no, and I couldn't find a statute that said we did. I talked with Michelle about just making sure that what I had for the budget was accurate, and then when she looked at it, there was a statute that was by the line in the budget about funding for the Historical Society. Well, she and I both read the statute, and the statute doesn't say anything about historical societies. It's generally an authorization for the county to spend money on things that they think are important. So there isn't any obligation to support the Historical Society. We have traditionally to the tune of about $10,000 a year, and it looks like it's been that amount for many years. And that sort of dovetails in with another issue, talking about the budget for next year and the budget calendar. We've talked in the past about what sort of information we want to get from third parties that are seeking funds from the county commission in terms of what their budget is, what their expenditures are, and whatnot. We haven't really, we don't have a real set of standards about.
We should come up with one. 990 or whatever requirements. Who their board of directors are.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm not exactly sure what to ask for, and I'm not exactly sure who's.
Bring us back something next week if you got some ideas.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's all that I have.
I move that the Board of County Commissioners recess into executive session at 1:50 p.m. for the consult with attorney for the public body which would be deemed privilege of the court attorney-client relationship, is allowed by K.S.A. 75-4319B2, and that the purpose of the closed session is to protect the confidentiality of the discussion, and that the board will come out of the executive session at 2 p.m.
How long do we need?
Probably half an hour.
At 2 p.m.
2:20.
At 2:20 in the commission room at the courthouse.
Those present.
Those present will be county commissioners and county Councilor Pat Henderson.
I second that
It's
motion.
been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 3-0.
Okay, we are back.
Okay, we are back in. Is there any other business?
We might remind everybody that the meeting is next Wednesday.
Yes. Christmas is on
Christmas
Tuesday,
on
so
Tuesday.
we are meeting
Normal
the
hours
20
on
yeah,
Tuesday.
normal hours, morning and afternoon session the 26th, and also the 2nd of January. Any other business?
I'm going to adjourn.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass 3-0.
You wanna look at
Merry
this?
Christmas.
Do you want this?
You know,